validation, now I validate myself. Building inner strength, putting doubt up on the shelf. No more unnecessary drama, no more wasted time. Climbing higher constantly, making my own climb. Standing on higher ground, where excellence is found. My potential knows no bounds. Raising the bar, breaking ground. My network is my net worth. Choose your company wise. Surround yourself with eagles, not with sheep in disguise. Every interaction is a reflection of my brand. Quality over quantity, that's my personal command. Standing on higher ground, where excellence is found. My potential knows no bounds. Raising the bar, breaking ground. Whoa. I'm not just living, I'm manifesting my vision. Cutting through limitations with surgical precision. My expectations are my compass, my respect is my shield. To mediocrity and chaos, I will never yield. I'm not just living, I'm manifesting my vision. Cutting through limitations with surgical precision. My expectations are my compass, my respect is my shield. To mediocrity and chaos, I will never yield. Standing on higher ground, where excellence is found. My potential knows no bounds. Raising the bar, breaking ground. I'm not just living, I'm manifesting my vision. Cutting through limitations with surgical precision. My expectations are my compass, my respect is my shield. To mediocrity and chaos, I will never yield.
How you doing, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to This and That. I got distracted for a moment there. I'm your host, Xander, where we're talking about this, that, and everything in between. They got a lot of changes going on right now on YouTube, and it is impacting the way we see the show. So apologize for those little hiccups that we've got going on there. Just make sure that you guys like and subscribe. We're going to get through it like we always do. It's going to be one of those moments. I know that I see you guys over on Twitch and Twitter. Special shout out to you guys that's on Twitch and Twitter as well. And then we have not invested ourselves into TikTok as of yet, but we're gonna try to figure out how to migrate over there eventually. Today we're going to be talking about you working too hard for your job and still being broke. We're going to be giving you guys some knowledge and insight about that. And as we discussed yesterday, towards the end of the show, we'd be talking about some other ways that we could bring a little bit of cash into a positive situation or turn a negative situation into a financially positive situation. So we're going to be working on that in addition to. So stay tuned. We are live 7 nights a week. We do typically start off closer to 10 o'clock Central Standard Time, which is around 11 o'clock Eastern Standard Time at about 7 o'clock California time, which is 4 a.m. for Green Minutes Time and Universal Standard Time. But, we started a little bit late today. It's been a lot of things going on as of recent. So I've just been trying my best to make sure that we get in here, but the sun won't rise without us going live. So we are live 7 nights a week, and we've got a different topic for you guys every night of the week. That's why I encourage you guys to make sure that you like and subscribe. Special shout out to Danny Steffen, Bayside. I know you're watching. Usman, Ruderus, Mr. Satellite should be diving in here pretty soon. Nico, Z. So I appreciate you guys. It's been coming in real heavy this past week. Extra special shout out to Bayside as of recent. I appreciate your generous contributions to the show yesterday. That really helped us out a lot. Oh yeah, we're still waiting on the Vino Tinto wine. Vino Cato wine is supposed to be coming through. I will be touching base with them again today. I might just go ahead and just get it in here, because I'm not sure what's going on with the lady that is supposed to be providing the product for me to remedy. But I will be definitely promoting the product, and then because I'm a man of my word. You've seen that the Fit Chef is up there, so we'll be able to look at that coming soon, because I got to talk to them about getting the product line started. So you're going to be seeing some promos of that in the show coming soon. So you got to just stay tuned for the Fit Chef line, because it's going to be recipes and menus and all this other stuff. So you guys already know that I'm supposed to be like Chef Homeboy on the show. We're supposed to be bringing in a lot of cooking videos on the podcast coming soon, at least one a week, I'm hoping. And it really depends on the cost of the ingredients and the time that I have available to make it happen, because I'm typically only available on Thursdays to do extracurricular activities. It's not this podcast. And then I have to piece together the video after I cook the food. So that's going to be a mission in and of itself. So as I get everything set up to get it together, I still got to go get the wine, because the wine is a good wine to be consumed, but I'm also going to be trying to make meals that can be cooked with that wine. So that's going to be the difference. So we're not just doing regular cooking. We're going to be cooking with liquor. Xander's cooking with liquor. So stay tuned with that. In addition, we have a couple of more topics coming up Thursday. We have a concept up there tomorrow about the females wanting to talk to the good guys. So we're probably going to have a lower feedback on that one. I don't really mind. But Sundays are members only. And then Monday, we're going to be talking about true to life, exclusively business and finance kind of scenario on Monday, Tuesday. And I haven't picked the country of choice yet, but I did say that I was going to be touching base on Ukraine at some point. So I might just go ahead and do Ukraine next week. Special shout out to Talania for her contribution about a week or so ago. Greatly appreciate that as well. So I got to get her on the list. She's not even on the list. I don't know why she's not on the list. She should be on the list. She should be on the list right next to Bayside. There goes Bayside. And then here we go with Talenia. I'm going to make sure that I don't know her whole name. That's why I didn't put her up here, because she's got like a whole profile name up there, and it is it's long. It's really long. It's like putting your government name up there. But I know that her name was spelled Tanilia, and I was like, how do you pronounce that? So I'm gonna throw it in there. Tanilia. And we throw that in there that way, so she'll see her name. I'm gonna put this up here for y'all, because I know that my boy just popped in. I just seen a pop up. Special shout out to Dustin. As we've been doing over the past week or so, every time we got somebody popping into the comment section, we're gonna give you guys a little bit of like a WrestleMania intro. So here we go for you. I'm doing good. I'm doing real good. These are the higher ground tracks. What's good? How have you been doing, man? It's good to
No more unnecessary drama, no more wasted time. Climbing higher constantly, making my own climb.
We're about to get started in a second here.
Standing on higher ground.
I love that
where
part.
excellence is found. My potential knows no bounds.
He's living.
Raising the bar,
My
breaking
man Carl.
ground.
Let's shout out to Carl. He is back. It's been a long time since Carl's been here. How's mom doing, Carl? Hopefully mom's doing okay, right?
Company-wise. Surround yourself with eagles, not with sheep in disguise. Every interaction is a reflection
So we're about
of
to-
my brand. Quality over quantity, that's my
We've got
personal
some
command.
OGs coming in because Carl was here when we was talking about some of the deep conversations. I really appreciate that.
Standing on higher ground, where excellence is found.
All right, let's go ahead and get things started.
My potential knows no bounds. Raising the bar, breaking ground.
All right, so in case y'all didn't know, we've been lately dropping some of the soundtrack into the live podcast throughout the podcast as people jump into the comments section. Give you guys a little bit of an intro in here. We can rock out a little bit while we're talking about self-improvement and everything to that effect. So today I'm going to be taking on the challenge of figuring out why so many of us are working hard but still struggling to make ends meet. So let's dive into this and see if we can uncover some real solutions. You know me, I don't find problems without having a solution for them. Here on This and That, where we talk about this, that, and everything in between, the main goal is to make it make sense. So with every topic, I have to make it make sense. Many people face these issues. It's a common problem that affects individuals from all walks of life. Right now, regardless of their profession or their background. So working hard is often seen as a key to success, but it doesn't always translate to financial stability. People work multiple jobs, put in long hours, and make sacrifices, yet they still find themselves living paycheck to paycheck. Now, poor financial management is a major reason why hard workers don't always lead to their financially successful goals. But that's not always the thing, because when people don't know how to manage their money, they can easily fall into debt, overspend, and make poor investment decisions. Now, a lot of the times when I start talking about some of these poor investment decisions, the women get mad because some of the things that men do that is a poor investment decision is investing in the women. And women think that that's misogynistic, but it's not. You have to think about the fact that if the roles were reversed, and the women were expected to invest in the men the way that the men are investing in the women to get from the men what the men are from the women would say, that makes no sense. Why should I do that? Now, universally speaking, the expectations are to receive without providing any type of value. And that is what the traditional behavior has been here in 2025. But that traditional behavior stems from a historic background where there wasn't the availability to equivalently contribute. Now it's just an abusive position, and not too many people want to hear that. But you have to also understand that a lack of education on money matters is also a significant factor, because many people don't learn about personal finance, investing, or budgeting until it's too late and they've already made costly mistakes. Most of us find out that the stuff that we were doing was negatively impacting our financial decision, usually when we reach our middle age levels. A lot of us did not know that there were better opportunities out there for us that was less catastrophic and more easily accessible to our current budget, because we didn't talk about this with anybody. And this leaves us to struggle the hard struggle because we did not know that there was another way. I now, to this day, always look for another way, because it can't always be like this. It can't always be like this. So we have come to find out that ineffective career choices can also hinder financial progress. Some careers may offer low pay and limited opportunities for achievement or unstable working conditions. You have the jobs where you believe that coming in on your day off and putting in extra hours, and you're one of those overtime hour employees that's loving the new bill that was passed with the tax laws where you're not being taxed on your overtime hours because you're working 20 hours a week. Think about the fact that you have to work 20 hours a week or you can't afford to pay your rent. And then think about the fact that you have no days off because you have to come in on your day off so that you can make enough money to barely pay your rent. Then think about the fact that even though you're not being taxed on that extra 20 hours of overtime, you still to this day don't have enough money to pay your bills to say that you've got extra money set aside to invest. Then let's redirect our attention to the fact that you had a good time last weekend and you're having a good time this weekend. Now, let me ask you, how did you have the money to have a good time if you ain't got enough money to improve your wealth? We don't make good choices a lot of the times. Now, some of the careers that are low paying jobs do have job security specifically because they need you to fill in the blanks for those individuals that don't come to work. And that's something that not too many people pay attention to. And then we also have those scenarios where, because you're an asset to the company as long as you answer the phone. But the first time the boss says, hey, I need you to come and cover, and you say, I can't, that's when like your relationship with the company goes south. As soon as you stop showing up to cover their mistakes with scheduling, that's when you end up in a situation where they're not your friend anymore. They're not your fan anymore. They can fire you at a drop of a hat after 20 years of showing up for work and not give a hoot about it, and not even give you a advance notice of termination. They just take you off the schedule and tell you don't come back to work until we tell you to, kind of situation. So we've got to really rethink our position. I'm gonna pause real quick because Franklin came in, and I'm gonna give a special shout out to Franklin. I said that everybody that pops into the comment section gets their little 15 seconds fame when I do it. So special shout. Here on This and That, while we do talk about this, that, and everything in between, we try to keep our discussions reasonably appropriate, because you do got to remember that we do have some youngins on the podcast that are coming to learn about business and finance. We have some women that come onto the podcast that want to learn about business and finance and personal improvement, personal development, and it is not a good idea to slide in with controversial stigma such as that question that you asked. So those are the kind of questions that I do not put up onto the screen, and not maintaining a higher level of expectations will cause you to not be on this panel. Just remember, as the song is playing, we're expressing higher levels of non-negotiable expectations. So you've got to maintain those standards in order to be on this podcast. Really appreciate those. I love that song. It's one of many. We're going to be getting through the rest of them too. The more people that pop in, the more soundtracks we slide through. Now, people may also choose careers that don't align with their skills, interests, or values, leading to dissatisfaction and stagnation. And that's going to happen quite a few different ways. Dustin says, it happened to me not too long ago because I couldn't work 70 hours one week. They all say they care about a good work and personal life. That's a joke. Most of the time, bro, they don't care about your personal life. They don't care about your person. They care about what's happening in your personal life so that they have something to talk about. But they don't care about your true personal life. What they care about is you showing up for work so that you can get the work done, because they care about their bonus. They care about their salary. They care about not getting fired by their boss because they didn't cover the shift correctly. So they will call you because they know you will come in and cover somebody else who's not coming in. But they won't take the guy off the schedule who doesn't come in because somebody's got to work on the days when you're not coming in. Which makes no sense. And then with the Gen Zs that's going on right now, and they're demanding the work-life balance scenario where they're walking off the shift and everything like that. They have a generation of individuals that are literally running the job into the ground, where worth ethic is diminished. Did you see how Waffle Houses are closing all across the country because the employees can't handle the business? I remember when I was a kid and I was in there and we were working like 76 hours straight, talking about some of the doors don't close ever. Like Waffle House was one of the places that was known through natural disaster to never lock its doors and never turn off its lights. And here, after the pandemic, all we have is regular business hours. These stores be closing now. They be shutting down now because the work ethic is not there anymore. We have a mentality: work till we drop, work till we die. And these kids is like, nah, man, I'm only gonna give you till it's time for me to update my social media status. You know, I got to do my TikTok dance. I can't. You notice that if you flip through TikTok, half the content creators are in their work uniform, playing on their phone, doing ridiculous dances on the job instead of doing the damn job. Now, why the fuck y'all gonna walk off the job early? Because y'all done been at work too damn long, but you had the ability to upload 2 or 3 social media videos. Why are you streaming live on the job, on the clock? Conversate. That constitutes as a phone call. You're not supposed to do that on the clock. The work ethic has diminished. Now, there's a lot more things that's happening because since people are applying for jobs, and we're applying for jobs online, we don't have the ability to understand what they're looking for the job. So we just make shit up on the application, get picked, go to the interview, start doing the job, realize that there's some mandatory on-the-job training. We got to go through that on-the-job training. Then after we go through the on-the-job training, we end up in a bullshit-ass position. It's not paying us as much money as we thought, but at least we got a job. Now we're mad, and all of that stuff puts us in a sour mood for the company, but we can't do anything else because we need the money. Thus it says, and they get away with it. Yeah, they get away with it. Goddamn, speed of service time be higher than a bit. We be sitting in a line, waiting, trying to get a bucket of chicken at KFC, and they out there TikTok dancing and stuff. We over there in the McDonald's line. We over there at Chipotle. We trying to figure out why the Chick-fil-A drive-through line so dang long. They at the end of the line doing some scoop and swoop and stuff, dancing. What's why y'all got the trend during the rush hour? Why can't y'all do it when the company's slow? Why can't y'all do it first thing in the morning before the doors open? Special shout out to L Cool J. You know, I got to throw him up there real quick. L Cool J said that's why we are losing 24-hour stores. Shit, that's why we're losing brick and mortar stores.
I'm not just living, I'm manifesting my vision, cutting through limitations with surgical precision. My expectations are my compass, my respect.
Wow, I love this. I love this. Special shout out to Franklin saying something nice. I was for 17 years without a day off. Tell me about it. And when coronavirus hit, he quit my job. And then I cashed out my Google stock. Well, that explains your first comment, because if you were getting into your tapping into your Google stock, you should have had you a decent quantity of money. You should have had you a decent quantity of money. Tell me about it. future. I know that when I had cashed out on my Waffle House stock, I had walked out of there with like 50 grand. I was like, what? I must have been working like a dog, because they were taking a change out of my check and putting it into the stock option. And it's a private investment scenario, so you're not going to be, it's not a public. So if you quit the company, you lose your stock. So I had to cash out on my stock and then leave the company. Man, can I tell you, when they gave me that check, I was like, sweet. I moved cross country with that money. Up so high, just my way. All right, let's get back into it. A lot of y'all jumping in. I really appreciate it. This is a lovely crowd we got. Half of y'all, yes, talking about the stock options and stuff we was investing in yesterday. But additionally, not having a clear understanding of one's financial goals and priorities can lead to confusion and poor decision making as well. So even though the jobs suck, not knowing what you're trying to do with this job or what you're trying to accomplish from this job can make it even harder. Come to find out, and I did some digging on this, and y'all know me, if y'all been coming to this and that for a while, y'all know I done did some background research on this, and I'm like, what's up with this scenario? And yep, I did my digging. Your job might be keeping you financially strapped for several reasons, ranging from stagnant wages, from financial stress that impacts productivity, like the damn TikTok dances, and discussion making. Then you also have many traditional jobs offering limited opportunities for significant salary increases or bonuses, creating a financial ceiling that prevents employees from achieving financial independence. And I'm going to tell you what this is like, this glass ceiling. So you have certain jobs that you have to meet the physical work ethic requirement in order to get the promotion, right? Now that's basic standard. Everybody understands that. However, the next step is that they'll do a credit check. So now you got to have good credit. You got to have good financial history. You got to have a good spending habits. You can't be in debt to a bunch of people. So you can't pull yourself out of a financially strapped situation, because they won't promote you if you're in a financially strapped situation. What? So if I got this promotion, that would pull me out of the hole. But if I don't pull myself out of the hole, I don't get this promotion. That's the kind of stuff that they do to you. They also set standards like you got to have a clean criminal record, so you can't have no felonies in your past 10, 15, 20 years ago. You can't have certain things that your history will stop you from having a better future, because of decisions that you made in the past that you cannot change. Even if you've changed and learned from the decisions that you made in the past, you cannot change the past, and they will not qualify you because you made a bad choice in the past. Assuming that you're not going to make good choices in the present, I don't get that either. But that throws you through a loop. Dustin says, yeah, it's crazy. It's really crazy. It's really, really crazy. Now, inflation and the rising cost of living have outpaced wage growth for many years. And in 2023, 59% of employees reported that their compensation wasn't keeping up with the expenses, leaving nearly half struggling to meet household costs on time. That puts us in these toxic relationships with people that we should not be with, because we pool our money together. The guy gets sex, the girl's bills get paid on time. That's a relationship. A kid comes out of that by accident. That's a burden that we have to take care of. So now we're stuck together for 18 years because we can't afford to separate, and we can't afford two households and a kid. So now we're in a toxic relationship that we shouldn't necessarily be in if we would have been making better financial decisions. This is the kind of stuff that we deal with. Most of us understand that you can't afford to live by yourself in this country, not in the United States. In other countries, you can do that. But here in the United States, it is difficult unless you're making a significant quantity of money or living in a really small location. You are not going to be able to afford to live by yourself if you don't have 2 to 4 jobs. And if you've got 2 to 4 jobs, you're never at the house. You're spending so much time working to make money for a place that you get to see, always at trying to make to pay for the place. You're basically doing all of this work so you can have a place to park your car so that you're not sleeping in the parking lot at your job. Crazy. But that's what we have gotten used to doing. And it has negatively impacted our ability to think straight for a while. Financial stress is a major issue for employees, with 1/3 reporting that money worries negatively impact their ability to focus at work. And that's true, because if you don't know if you're going to have enough money to pay your rent on the first because you ain't working enough hours this week because you got sick and missed 1 or 2 days on your paycheck. So your next paycheck that's going to happen in 8 days is going to be the last paycheck that you get before the first. And if that paycheck ain't big enough, that's all the money that you got. You're going to have to find a way to borrow money from somebody else so that you can cover your rent for next month. And you looking at it right now this month because it's 3 days from the 15th. So in a few more days, it's going to be the middle of the month. If you're getting paid on week 3 of April and your check ain't big enough, week 1 of May is going to be a sucky week. Because if you're getting paid on the 3rd week of April, you're likely to get paid on the 8th or 9th of the first week of May, going into the 2nd week of May, which typically puts you after the first 5-day grace period, which means you're going to be getting late fees on your rent. But as long as you get your money in before the 15th, they're not trying to throw you out. But that $50 to $150 extra a month because you don't have enough money to pay it on time, now you really don't have enough money to pay for it, because now you're paying fees on top of the bill that you couldn't afford to pay. And you're borrowing money from some place is going to charge you fees so that you can pay this bill. But when you pay that bill back, that's going to put you further in debt. You got to reboil that money because you didn't have enough money from the gate. And that puts you in a downward spiral into going bankrupt. And I recommend never go bankrupt. Just let it all go and don't go bankrupt, because it's a waste of status to go bankrupt, of financial status. Dustin says, or you got points and worrying about it. Which points are you talking about? What points are you talking about? Are you talking about points of your driver's license? You talking about higher interest rates, points that you got to pay on your investments? Or are you talking about which points are you referring to? Because you're right. You be worrying about all kind of other stuff. Point system. The point system for the credit score. Oh yeah. Okay, I know what you're talking about now. The points. He calling the points. Look, credit score going down. The points deducting. I'm talking about demerits on the job. That's a whole nother point system. You're stressing on the job because you don't got enough money to pay your bills, right? Now, because you're stressing on the job, your job performance is not up to the par of the job, which means that you're now getting demerits on the job. And because you're getting demerits on the job, that could lead to pay cuts and deductions and lost wages on the job, because they'll cut your hours back because you're not performing the way they prefer you to perform, which is above your pay grade technically. And then you're worried about losing your job because you're worried about losing your house, and then you're just worried all over the place. That's a lot of worry. And all of this happens, ladies, before the relationship worries the man. This is the stress that we have to deal with. Now, this distraction can lead to reduced productivity and inhibit your career growth. Workers often spend hours during the work week dealing with personal financial concerns, which can equate to lost time and energy that could otherwise be devoted to professional development. Yes, sir. That it is crazy. It is seriously. I told you we did some digging on this. It is crazy that this happens this way. Make sure that y'all mash those reaction buttons and hit the like button on your way in. If you haven't subscribed already, subscribe as well. A significant number of employees feel trapped in their jobs due to financial fears because, I mean, can't find another job that'll pay you like this, because they start you off below minimum wage. If you're making $5 or $10 over minimum wage, you can't really walk off this job, even though the job isn't paying you living wage. Because if you start over on the job, you might go from making $20 an hour on this one job or $25 an hour on this one job to making like $13 to $15 an hour on a new job starting over. Because unless you transition in the same field to another company that will respect your years of experience doing the same thing, you're not likely to get the same pay walking in the door. The restaurant industry, hospitality industry is probably the only career that will take your years of experience and say, bet I'm a match their pay or pay you $1 or $2 more than what they were giving you because you already know how to do this job. Everything else, they're going to start you at the bottom. They're going to do a trial run, 90 days. So for 3 months, you're getting paid less than what you used to get paid. And if you can survive that long, then you'll be in a situation where you can start making the big bucks. I tell you, that's one of the reasons why we got to work 2 or 3 jobs, because we've got to work the job past the 90-day grace period, then quit the old job because the new job is paying us more than the old job. We can't just quit the old job and say, well, I can just go get me a job up the street. No, the fuck you can't. They just fired, 250, 300,000 workers from the U.S. government. So you already know all of the private security jobs going to be taken up. Y'all think y'all gonna be walking around with a flashlight and a whistle like top flight security? Craig and Day, the last 2 brothers that got hired on that job, all y'all gonna see is ex-military, ex-CIA, ex-FBI, ex-NSA. Everybody gonna be working at Walmart in them little allied services uniforms, standing by the door, harassing you about looking at your receipt because they mad that Trump kicked them out of the Department of Education. So don't think that y'all gonna be going getting y'all some other job somewhere, like talking about it, especially when Jeff Bezos got rid of 200-something thousand employees and replaced them with machines right before the strike. And after the strike happened and they became a union, now you got to go through the union to get a good job at Amazon, like Starbucks, where they did their strike trying to copy off of Amazon. Now you got to go through their union to get a job at Starbucks. So you can't just walk in there and say, oh, I'm going to do X, Y, and Z, because the union workers got all the regular hours. So you're going to only get part-time if you don't join a union. I'm telling you guys, the situation is getting is getting wild. Time to work for myself. That's what we do here on This and That. We sit here and we talk all the time about the different ways that we can make better decisions. We can make more improvements with ourselves. We can start up our own businesses. We can start making money for ourselves. We could get paid sitting at the house. We leave the house because we feel like it, not because we have to go to work. And then we have starting the beginnings of a better lifestyle. Now, according to the Career Gridlock report, and there's a gridlock report, 60% of workers stay in roles longer than desired because they worry about salary reductions or financial instability during the job transition, because you cannot change fields without starting over, as we just explained. Even when employees do switch careers, 17% experience a decrease in salary, further discouraging others from making similar moves. So when you see your homeboy quit the job and he goes somewhere else, he making $2, $3 an hour less than you, but he's at a better atmospheric job. You need the money, so you're going to stay on this bullshit ass job so that you can make enough money to take care of your whatever you got going on at your household. But you wish you could go to a job that treats you better. So the one that treats you better pay you less, and the one that treats you worse pay you more. So you go to the hardest, nastiest, dirtiest job that treats the employees the worst with the highest turnover. You go there, you make yourself the backbone of the company by always showing up for work, always doing extra, always doing the jobs of the people that don't want to stay there, so that you can keep a job, but you are miserable. in this environment. Now, many employees lack awareness of their monthly expenditures or fail to establish the emergency funds. And not too many of us have emergency funds. Even after what happened with COVID, not too many of us have any money as set aside for an emergency. We might have a little extra gas money. We might have a little bit of spending money in our wallet right now to last us till our next paycheck. We might have a little bit of money that we forgot to spend from last month, this month, because we paid all the bills off last month because it's tax time right now. So a lot of y'all catching up on bills with your tax money. Y'all shouldn't be doing that. Y'all should be taking y'all tax money and investing it into some stuff to make some money for you, because you're never going to get that principal back again, at least not until this time next year, because you know they're not giving stimulus checks out no more. So you whatever you got, that's all you get. That's all you get. This dependency can create a cycle where leaving a job feels impossible without risking financial stability. And traditional jobs often come with rigid structures and limited paths for advancement, leaving employees feeling undervalued and undercompensated for their skills. So the lack of meaningful work or upward mobility can exacerbate the feelings of the stagnation and financially frustrated employees, which is one of the reasons why you see a lot of the YNs walking out. They're like, nope, not going to be here. Special shout out to KJ. KJ just jumped in. Got to show KJ some love. Is that a complete set of Girls Gone Wild tapes on your bookshelf? No, that is definitely not. They're law books. I would not have Girls Gone Wild videotapes on my bookshelf. I have to do this with class. It has to be Hustler and Playboy in the background. It's got to be the magazine, bro. It's got to be the old school books with the centerfold that's 4 pages long when it folds out. Give it up for KJ and his dark humor joke of the day. Workers increasingly rely on credit cards or loans to manage their finances. For example, 37% of employees reported taking on more credit card debt in recent years, further straining their budgets and tying them more closely to their current income source. I'm going to tell you something when it comes down to your credit cards. One of the first things that y'all need to know how to do is figure out when your dang monthly billing cycle happened, because you're going to be leaning on these credit cards. I was talking to y'all about this yesterday. What y'all could be doing is don't spend more than you make. First rule. Second rule is max the card out 90%, 97%. 2 days after the billing cycle rolls over, when they've given you your paper statement. Pay that off 5 days before the billing cycle is up. It reports to the 3 major credit agencies that you have no balance, because the balance is paid off at the end of the billing cycle, but the balance is maxed out throughout the billing cycle. It doesn't report during the monthly cycle. It reports after the monthly cycle. So if you practice that, you can do something that the rest of these guys aren't doing. And what the rest of these guys are doing is they're maxing out their credit card, and then they're paying the minimum monthly balance to keep the card current. I was talking to y'all a few days ago about how somebody was doing that, where he took his whole income tax refund and put $2,000 on credit card payments just to pay the back payments. They still overdrawn. So you just gave away $2,000 for just interest. You still can't even use the credit cards. Like, that was a dumb move. I would have charged off all of those credit cards. Like, nope, y'all can have it. Take that $2,000 and put it somewhere else. Now, financial worries can have psychological effects that reduce productivity and earnings potential, where studies show that workers burdened by financial stress are less efficient and more likely to make poor decisions regarding career advancement. Y'all are going to be out there diving into some really reckless decision making. Usually when you're tight for money, your morals and ethics diminish. You're more likely to do something illegal, swinging them gift cards or whatever y'all got going on, the drop phones and all this other stuff that be happening out there. Y'all willing to explore some other alternative ways to make some easy money because you ain't got enough money to do what you need to do. You got some people that find themselves stealing off the job, and you say, "Oh, well, I don't steal." Well, hold on now. If you ever left with some of the towels, that's stealing. If you ever left with extra uniforms that you're supposed to get one uniform, supposed to pay for the rest, you go in a commissary and take 4, 5 uniforms out of there because you ain't paying for no uniforms because you don't make enough money to buy these damn things. These are the kind of things that's stealing from the job. Technically, job don't care. They're gonna write it off. But technically, you're supposed to buy them shirts from the company. You know, you're only supposed to have one shirt, and that's the one shirt that you give back to them when you quit your job. All the rest of the ones that you paid for, you keep them. So when you quit, you're technically supposed to give back all the clothes that you didn't pay for the company, the whole uniform, all of them. But most of us don't. Most of us keep the uniforms. And then we got the audacity to go back to that job and apply for that job later on in another year with the old uniform. Like, hey, I got old school vintage uniforms. And they'll let you wear the old uniform. It's crazy. It's crazy. Now, I want you guys to pay attention because we don't just talk about problems, we talk about solutions. Now, breaking free from the financial constraints requires you to scrutinize your spending habits, to identify areas where you can save money and build an emergency fund. You want to be able to invest in your education or training to increase your earning potential and open doors to higher paying opportunities. Now, you want to do this in a fiscally responsible fashion because you want to make sure that you've got more money coming in than you're putting out on your education. But whatever trade or degree or certification that you have to get to put yourself in a better position in that field, that's what you need to go get. Work with a financial advisor to create a roadmap for achievement. And you're looking for long-term stability, which is why I told y'all a few months ago to find your 20-year plan. Your 20-year plan has this year requirements, 2-year requirements, 5-year requirements, 10-year requirements, so that you can say, okay, I did X, Y, and Z, and I've achieved this, this, and this. You might be moving faster than you had anticipated, but you're going to hit a wall somewhere. And times may change, which might cause you to marinate on a certain thing for a little bit of time. But if you're overall on a good pace, stay on that pace. These are the things that we talk about on a regular basis. What is this? It says share your referral link. I'm sorry, I was looking in the comment section. They've got this share your referral link. I was like, what is this? It popped up. I ain't never seen that, Bulljob. StreamYard upgraded their platform. They being grimy. Anyway, consider hot side hustles or freelance work to diversify income streams while maintaining your job. And you want to do this to keep your primary job the focus of where all your money's coming from, but then you want to turn around and put a lot of extra effort into diversifying the quantity of income that you're getting and the sources that you're getting them from. So by taking proactive steps, you can reduce the financial dependency on your current job and explore opportunities that better align with your goals and your values. Now, the absence of a well-thought financial plan can also derail even the hardest working individual. Without a plan, people may not be able to prioritize their spending, saving, and investing, as well as lending to financial chaos, because you are not supposed to lend to financial chaos. I keep telling y'all that. You contract yourselves out to guaranteed repayment plans, but you do not lend to financial chaos. And financial chaos is not just I can't pay my rent. Financial chaos is bail me out. Financial payoff is my probation officer. Financial chaos is the drug tested company, the kids tow up the school bus or something like that. The financial crisis is like stupid decisions that cost you money when you were not the one to make the stupid decision. That's financial chaos that you're not supposed to be lending your money to. This can result in missed opportunities, wasted resources, and a general sense of financial insecurity, because after you waste all this money on the girlfriend crashing a car when she should have been paying for that because you didn't even tell her she could drive the car, and you still broke. The car looked all right. She's still driving the car, but she did not reciprocate outside of doing something strange in the bedroom because she messed up the car. But now that the car fixed, she got a bad attitude and she gonna take the car. Y'all need to start paying attention now. This ain't the way y'all supposed to be doing stuff. Financial literacy is crucial for achieving financial stability. Understanding how money works, how to budget, and how to invest wisely makes a huge difference in one's financial situation. So, flip side, ladies, y'all be dating them dudes that ain't hitting on nothing, and they be driving around in your car, burning up all your gas with his extra girlfriend in the passenger seat. Y'all need to cut that nonsense out too, because why are you wasting all this money on a car that you ain't even driving? It goes both ways now. We all making bad decisions financially, and it's the little things that we do. Oh, but I love him. Fuck him. He need to go get himself a goddamn job and put some gas in this car. If he riding in it, he need to fill the tank. I would say the same thing about the female, is that if she riding in it, she need to fill the tank. Now, spending habits also play a significant role, as people who spend mindlessly or impulsively can quickly accumulate debt and undermine their financial progress. Take, for example, those individuals that will put their money into their habits, where they're buying alcohol and buying cigarettes, and you don't think about how much you're spending mindlessly making these purchases. Then when you think about how much, if you're drinking 3 cases of beer a day, and then you're thinking about that case of beer costs like $25 or $30 a day, you're drinking $135 worth of alcohol every day. If you're drinking 130, if you're throwing away $500 a week on alcohol, that means that you're throwing away $2,000 a month. If you're throwing away $2,000 a month on alcohol, then that means you're throwing away $24,000 a year on alcohol. $10,000 of investments at 15% is $1,500. So $20,000 is $3,000. So I'm trying to figure out how we ain't start thinking about that. The impact of spending habits can be overstated. It can't be overstated. It cannot be overstated enough. It really and truly is the backbone of financial chaos, is not properly spending your money. People who prioritize needs over wants, save for the future, and avoid debt, and achieve that financial freedom a whole lot easier. Now, on the other hand, those who prioritize short-term gratifications live beyond their means and accumulate debt that can cause them to struggle to make ends meet. Passive income streams can also contribute to the financial stability instead of spending all of your principles, which is why I tell you guys of other ways to put your money. Providing a safety net and allowing people to pursue their passions without financial stress, depending on what that passion is, because some passions cost money to start up. Building multiple income streams can help people achieve that financial stability, which includes starting a side business, just like KJ. Was it KJ or Dustin? Dustin said, work for myself. And investing in stocks or real estate, bonds, or pursuing alternative sources of income. So I told you guys, whenever there's a problem, I have a solution. So I don't just come up here and talk about how things suck. Diversifying one's income can reduce the financial risk, increasing financial security, and provide peace of mind. So by taking control of your finances, you're able to break free from the cycle of the paycheck to paycheck lifestyle. And you'll be able to build more financially secured futures. With just $10, you can start building a habit of investing potential earnings, more money over time. A lot of people believe that investing requires a large quantity of money. That's not true. They believe that large quantity of money is the reason why they're not investing. That becomes a significant barrier to them getting started, which I've been showing you guys that all the stuff that we talked about on Monday and Tuesday with stocks that y'all could invest in, y'all could be investing in stocks under $10 and making 12 cents a share, which is about 23% interest, where you would be delivering yourself off of $1,000, you'd be delivering yourself almost $200, and they're paying you monthly. The misconception of needing to be rich can be overwhelming and make people feel like they'll never be able to start investing. People often think that they need thousands of dollars to get started, but that's just not the case. The truth is, you can start investing with a very small amount of money, and it's also better to start than to wait until you have a lot of money. You want to start as young as possible, 15, 16, 18 years old. If you take your kid's allowance and invest that into something guaranteed or reasonably guaranteed, by the time your children are ready to go to college, they can pay for their own college. Instead of giving them play money so that they can go and ruin their lives, you can show them how to invest 60% of the money that you gave them so that they can make the habit of only spending 40% of the money that they make, where the other 60% is generating generational wealth. The idea that investing is only for the wealthy is a myth and needs to be debunked. And that's why we're going to debunk it today. Because many investment platforms have minimum balance requirements or high fees that can be intimidating for beginners. And these barriers can prevent people from taking that first step towards building their wealth. But people often feel like they're not making enough money to invest, or that they need to have a certain amount of money in their savings account before they can start investing, which all situations are wrong. Fear of losing money is another common reason people are hesitant to start investing, because you can tell that if you buy in at the wrong time and the stock market crashes, you can lose everything that you put in there. This fear is understandable, but it's also important to remember that investing is supposed to be a long game. This is not supposed to be for short-term gratification. So this is not about getting rich quickly. It's about building wealth over time. People often worry about making mistakes or choosing the wrong investments, but the truth is, everyone makes mistakes when they start out. Even if they think they know what they're doing, they come to find out when critical thinking is required that they didn't think about that. We can't interpret or prepare for the X factor. We could prepare for everything that we know, but the X factor is the unknown, and nobody can prepare for the unknown. We could prepare for most things that we believe might occur, but the things that we are unsure of, that we've never heard of, that we've never experienced before, we can't prepare for that. The key is to learn from the mistakes that you've made, and you want to learn from the mistakes that other people have made in the same direction that you're trying to head in the same industry, and then keep moving forward. Investing with a small amount of money can be a great way to get started, and there are many options available. Fractional shares, ETFs, and micro investing apps are all great options for beginners, and these platforms allow you to invest small amounts of money into a variety of assets, which can help you diversify your portfolio and reduce your risk. You can invest in stocks, bonds, or even real estate with all just a few dollars. You can also utilize fintech. So special shout out to Fintech 101. You can also utilize fintech to access micro investing apps or particularly popular trading platforms for beginners, because some of those are user friendly. These particular types of apps allow you to invest small amounts of money into a variety of assets. And these apps often have low or no fees, and they're very user friendly. So you can invest as little as $1. And some apps even offer educational resources to help you get started. This can be a great way to learn about investing and building your confidence. Investing with just $10 is entirely possible and can be a great way to start building financial literacy habits and even create modest returns. Many platforms allow you to buy fractional shares of stocks, enabling you to invest in high value companies like Amazon or Tesla without needing hundreds of dollars per share to go and pick that up, which is what we usually do on Tuesdays, is talk about certain investment opportunities that you could put your money into that are also cash dividend distributions, so that you can receive a monthly stipend from your investment platform, which encourages you not to withdraw your capital from the investment platform. Apps like Stash App lets you start investing with as little as $5 and offers access to thousands of ETFs and stocks with incentives like getting $5 when you open a new account. And if you click this link, it'll take you there. And then you'll be able to start off. You put your $10 in there, they'll give you $5, and then you'll have $15 to invest in. I just told you guys about Orchid Island, which is a real estate investment trust that is $6.16 or $6.18 a share. So you could buy 2 shares with the $10 that you uploaded, because they're going to give you an extra 5, which puts you in a position where you now can get 24 cents a share off of the 2 shares that you just bought. Now you're going to think 24 cents a share, that's not a lot of money. Well, yeah, you put $1,000, $5,000, $10,000 into there. Eventually, over time, that starts stacking up. It is still 22% interest, which is far higher than the 0.064% interest that most banks are offering you, which is almost half a cent of interest on every $100 that you make it. So you're gonna make 60 cents on every $100 that you put in a bank. 60 cents is what you're gonna get back annually. Or you can start making like $250, $300, $400 a month. I'm trying to tell y'all, there's other ways for you to go. Platforms like Robinhood allow you to buy fractional shares of stocks or ETFs for as little as $1. And this means you can invest in high value companies or diversify funds without needing substantial capital. For example, you can invest in the S&P 500 ETF for SPY or VOO, and that'll give you those are 2 great companies, because that's like I think the top 500 companies between those 2, and that helps you with long growth. Those are actual portfolio packages, so it's like every company that is successful in the S&P 500s. So you get the average of the portfolio. So if some companies are down, but most of the companies are up, you're up. And that's a good way to invest. Now, got to understand that those S&P 500s are ones that are not always not always dividend payout shares. So while the value of your stock is going to go up, the profit that you have comes off of you selling it, unless you leverage the value of the stock versus a cash loan, like we've talked about a few times before in the past. Now, the fractional shares are ideal for beginners who want to expose themselves to the stock market without significant upfront costs. Platforms like Fundraiser allow you to invest in income generating real estate properties starting at as little as $10. And you earn quarterly dividends from these investments, making it a low-cost way to diversify your portfolio. Fundraiser charges a minimum 1% annual management fee, but it's a simple way to dip your toes into real estate investing outside of using the Stash app that doesn't really charge you much fees. I can't even tell the difference in the fees because the cost of the whatever the fee cost is for the trade itself is oh yeah, okay, I remember where the fee is. They have a membership with a Stash. Stash is a $3 a month membership. So beyond that, I haven't seen any fees. There are no upload fees, no download fees. I haven't seen any fees with the trade. You get dollar for dollar everything. So if you're paying $3 a month, then you're paying help me out, do 120 times 3 or 12 times 3. That's what, 60, 30, 90, $90 for the year to run $3 a year. That's crazy. That's crazy. Not too many people think about these things. But investing in bonds through platforms like Worthy Bonds requires only $10 and offers an attractive 7% APY with no fees. Special shout out to Rev. We got to get Rev in here. We were talking about how working for somebody else, working for a company, could potentially cost us more money than we make. Like, we're putting in more effort to go work for somebody else than what we would be benefiting from working for ourselves. So I was telling people that there are ways that they can invest with just $10 and start making themselves some money where they're not dependent on this 9-to-5 that they don't like working on. Is it peace, bro? But is that investment worth it? So is that investment worth it? So that's a good question. Is it worth it? So that was what you were asking. And investing in bonds with no fees, 7%, or well, no, you're talking about the Worthy bonds that require only $10 that offers an attractive 7% APY with no fees. Technically, if it's when you're thinking about it as getting 70 cents back off of $10, you don't really see the benefit from that. But you got to think about this from the larger perspective. If you start putting your money away into high interest platforms like the ones I was telling you guys about on Monday and Tuesday, where you're getting like 20% or more than 20%, 22%, 23%, then the money that's in there as a principal, that gives you your dividend payout, and that the more money you put up there, the more dividend payout you get back. If you reinvest it, the more money that you reinvest, the larger your principal increases faster, which also gives you a larger quantity of revenue, which gives you a larger emergency fund if you had to pull out of the stock. Is it worth investing in bonds? Well, yes. If you invest in bonds for the tax evasion, I kind of want to evade taxes in other ways because I want that 22%, that 23% interest rate. You have some accounts like those that are offered by Current, provide up to 4% annual APY. I was telling you guys about checking accounts that offer 5.25, 5.5% interest for banks, 7.15 and 7.5 for credit unions, where you guys could get just put your cash in a bank up to $500. All the rest of it is 0.064, and let it sit there and generate revenue. But that would require you to open up a ton of bank accounts where the bank is leveraging your money in their possession for them to borrow and invest 10 times more than what you're investing. or you could take that money and you can go and invest in stock options. This is whatever you want to do. But they have apps like Acorn that automatically round up your spare change from your purchases and invest it into diversified portfolios tailored to your goals. Starting with $10 is simple, and Acorn also offers sign-up bonuses for the new users, and platforms like Reddit allow you to borrow and lend on a peer-to-peer platform where this is an informal money lending scenario that offers you potential returns. However, the option carries higher risks due to the lack of guarantee of getting paid back. But if they do pay you back, you're going to get paid back in spades. Now, you want to use your $10 wisely. You want to use it to start an online business or a side hustle that doesn't require a lot of financial investment, and you can do it almost effortlessly. Use your $10 to buy a domain name and start a blog or a website. For example, an investor turned a $10 domain into a blog that now generates significant affiliate and ad revenue annually. You can also purchase items at a garage sale or a thrift store and resell them on platforms like Facebook Marketplace and have some pretty decent yields. But a domain name and buying a domain name and start flipping items online for profit is not the only way to do it. You can buy and sell the domain names themselves, also known as domain flipping. And this is a profitable venture for many entrepreneurs. Domain flipping involves purchasing domain names at a low cost and reselling them for profit. This is similar to flipping real estate, where the value of the asset depends on the factors like demand, uniqueness, and market trends. So focus on short, simple, and memorable domain names that are easy to brand, single words or phrases. Use tools like Ahrefs, which is Ahrefs, or NameBio to monitor trending keywords and post domain sales. Now you want to look for domains with popular extensions like .com, .org, or niche specific ones like .ai for tech. And then you want to search for available domains using the registered links like GoDaddy or Namecheap. Explore expiring domain auctions or premium listings for high valued options. And key factors that determine a domain's worth include the length of the name, because the shorter names generally are more valuable because people don't like to type names. Brandability is the ease to pronounce an memorable domain and sell it for a less difficult sale to get you a little bit more profits with less efforts. Now, the relevance of the domain name is going to be important too, because that's going to be tied to trends in industries or keywords and have higher demands in certain industries. Now, you also want to pay attention to your search engine optimization, where domains with higher search volume have keywords that can attract buyers. Your registered Oh, you've seen these. I'm glad that you've seen these, because I'm giving everybody the details because not too many people know about this. Registering the domain through a registrar or buy it from an auction platform will give you the immediate control of them, and then you can put these bad boys up online somewhere and sell them off. Prices for new domains typically start at $10 to $20, while premium domains may cost significantly more. But when you list your domains on popular marketplaces such as Sedo, Sedo, Afternic, or Flippa, you'll be able to see you some returns in the short term. Now, you want to use landing pages to showcase your domain's value and attract direct buyers. Promote it through social media or targeted ads to reach potential buyers. Use fixed pricing for straightforward sales or auctions for high demand domains. For the niche domains with uncertain value, consider make an offer pricing, where you use an escrow service to ensure the secure payment before transferring ownership. Now, you want to facilitate the transfer through your register once the payment is confirmed. Now, I've got you guys some pro tips for success here. So when you start with a limited budget and scale as you gain experience, you'll be able to diversify your portfolio by investing in different niches and extensions. You want to avoid legal risks by steering clear of trademark names or brandnames.com. You want to be patient. Some domains may take months or even years to sell at a profit. You can be able to do this the same way you do this with investing in houses and stock markets and stuff to that effect. You want to focus on building up the habit of investing rather than worrying about the large contribution as a whole. So when you were asking me, is it worth spending it? Well, I mean, if you don't put a lot of money in it, then it's not going to give you a lot of return. But the more money you put in it, the larger your return becomes. Because 15% of $100 ain't that much money, but 15% of $1 million is a lot. So you want to spread your $10 across different asset classes, such as the fractional shares and bonds, to minimize the risks. And then platforms like SMBX can offer opportunities to invest. So you have two companies here, SMBX and Climatize, that offer opportunities to invest for small business owners while learning about the operational process and sustainable investment opportunities. Now, if you use free resources such as investor.com or financial blogs or Morningstar's investing classroom for beginner-friendly education, you'll be able to leverage these beginner-friendly options so you can start investing today with just $10 and no excuses. I've got satellite back in here. That's a good question, Rev, and I'm glad that you asked that. That answers your question a second time, because that's why you determine that the value isn't there, because you assume that you're buying once and that's all you're going to get, and that's not the case. Rev asks, can you keep adding money to the share, or do you have to buy more? So if you're using apps like Stash, when I put the link in the comment section, and you click that link, you upload money to the platform, then you select how many shares you want to have possession of based on the dollar amount that you're willing to put on that particular company. The quantity of shares that you have, the dollar amount value of the shares that you have, gives you the percentage back if it's a dividend distributing thing. If it is not a dividend distributing thing, if you sell a certain quantity of the shares, you will have a certain quantity of money left over, where the difference might be, like, for example, I bought a bunch of Twin Harbor stocks. Twin Harbor stocks went up. I needed some money to do something last month, so I sold some of the Twin Harbor stocks. But because the Twin Harbor stocks went up almost $50, I sold less than what I bought, and I still have some there, and I have the increased $50 value in there. So I have more than what I started with, but less because I withdrew some of it. Does that make sense? So you can keep adding money, because your share, each share has a fixed amount, and that fixed amount changes on a regular basis. But say you got a share that's like $6 a share, $5 a share. If you put up $100, you're buying $100 worth of $5 shares. Now, if you want to put up another $100, you're going to buy another $100 worth of $5 shares. Now, let's say that you bought 100 shares at $5, and let's say that stock goes up to $8. You made a $3 profit off of 100 shares, 300 each, which means that your profit would have been $300. And if that profit is supposed to be paid to you that month, then you got $300 this month. So when the whole show we're talking about putting your money up there and investing it into something that's going to pay you higher interest rates than a bank, 22.3 or 23% interest on things like Orchid Island, and some of the other ones that are still pretty good, because we gave you a whole list on Monday or Tuesday where you can invest in at least 20 of them, and 7 of them I have that, and I'm picking up the rest of them coming soon, and they're all paying out because they paid out. Some of them paid out at the end of March, some of them paid out at the beginning of April, and I think I got 1 or 2 left that's supposed to be paying out at the end of April, because the quarterlies paid in March and the monthlies paid in March. So all of them are paying, but some of them pay immediately after the ex-dividend date, and some of them pay the month after the ex-dividend date, which makes a huge difference. So people can change their financial situations by taking small steps towards financial literacy and smart money management. Now, this can include reading books on personal finances, attending seminars like this podcast, or working with a financial advisor. By taking actionable tips and applying them to your life, people can start to see real change in their lives and their financial situations. Now, effective budgeting is going to be key to achieving your financial stability. So people can start tracking their expenses, creating a budget, and prioritizing their spending. They can also automate their savings, invest in retirement accounts, and take advantage of tax advantaged savings options. By being intentional with your money, you guys can build wealth over time and achieve financial freedom. So the main point is that working hard is not enough to achieve financial stability. People need to work smart, be financially literate, and make intentional decisions. Intentional decisions means you meant to do that. You did that on purpose. That was the outcome you was expecting to get. That's why women don't like that word intentional. But when you're intentional about the decisions that you make about money, you can break free from the cycle of living paycheck to paycheck and build a more secure financial future. Yeah, it looks like we have hit the crossroad on that. So I want you guys to share your thoughts in the comments down below, because if you guys want to learn more about achieving this financial success, you guys got to check out all of the videos that we got coming up, because we've got videos coming up 7 days a week. And at the request of Bayside, I've been trying to stick in some motivational conversations, and then throw some, hey, by the way, you can also invest this way, towards the back end of the show as well, so that you guys got other reasons to be here, not just to listen to the social reform that needs to happen for the day's show. So we're multitasking here. Make sure that you guys like and subscribe. If you guys have any new questions, you can always throw your questions into the comments section, and I get back to you guys. And if it's a really, really deep question, I make a show about it. So just let me know what you guys have as far as concerns on this. But based on the information that I have dug up, Rev, you want to take the money that you don't need, invest it into shares, and keep adding money to the shares. You want to get a large quantity of shares. You want to diversify those shares, but you want to kill shares so that if you're getting shares that pays cash dividends, those shares will continue to pay you cash dividends, instead of you forever working from paycheck to paycheck, having to get up and make that dollar so that you can make ends meet. With that being said, ironically, that's all I've got for you guys for today, and it's only been an hour and 24 minutes. Man, I tell y'all, I feel burned out. But I got a lot of stuff done this week. So On my way out the door, I want to let you know, ladies, as long as the situation doesn't make sense, I'm going to keep asking y'all to make it make sense. So ladies, please make it make sense. Fellas, we're at about 67%. The women are catching up. There are a lot more women that wants to come and learn what's going on until they come to tomorrow's show and they hear me talking about how the women aren't looking for good men. They're looking for something else. Yeah, they're probably going to change their position. Either way, keep showing that support. Keep showing us love. Special shout out to Reese Martinez for their generous contribution to the show, Bayside for his generous contribution to the show, Max Opposer for his generous contribution to the show, and Talenia for their her generous contribution to the show. So I really appreciate you guys for supporting the podcast whenever y'all can. It definitely goes a long way. Make sure that y'all come back tomorrow. We're going to be here at around about 10:30-ish, because we typically try to get it started at 10, but sometimes I ended up starting at 10:15 like it did today. So just note that at least by 10:30, we should be on the roll, Central Standard Time, which is about 4:30 a.m. for Universal Time. Y'all already know 11 on the East Coast, 7 on the West Coast, and we're going to be live 7 nights a week. Thank you guys for coming to This and That. I'm your host, Sander, where we talk about this, that, and everything in between. I really appreciate you hanging out with me, Rev. I'm going to see you tomorrow night. Thank you very much. Peace, brother.
Chase validation, now I validate myself. Building inner strength, putting doubt upon the shelf. No more unnecessary drama, no more wasted time. Climbing higher, constantly making my own climb. My network is my net worth. Choose your company wise. Surround yourself with eagles, not with sheep in disguise. Every interaction is a reflection of my brand. Quality over quantity, that's my personal command. I'm not mounted on higher ground where excellence is found. My potential knows no bounds, raising the bar, breaking ground. Just living, I'm manifesting my vision, cutting through limitations with surgical precision. My expectations are my compass, my respect is my shield to mediocrity and chaos. I will never surgical precision. My expect